Hello friends, welcome once again to our Ionic 5 login and sign up tutorial. We are in our part 4 of this series. So in this video, remember we left off in our last video when we had an error in our Xcode, and we had an auth error here. So this function wasn't being recognized. In this video we are going to be fixing that and also run our application on Android device. Let's start our application by fixing our auth error that we are receiving. Alright, so since our auth function is not recognized, so that's why we are unable to sign in our user. What we are going to do is in our app.module.ts file, we are initializing this application, which is Firebase, and this one contains an auth function. But then the quickest solution that we can do is to create another function, and I'll be creating this function just inside our environment. I'll click new file, and then I'll call our file as let's say authconfig.ts file. Then inside our authconfig file, we'll import Firebase from Firebase. And then here we'll come to our environments. We just copy all this code and just paste it right there. Then here we'll just run Firebase, initialize app, and then inside here we'll just pass in our config file. So after running that, then we'll export a constant which will be Firebase auth, and this one will equal to our firebase.auth. So when we save that and come back to our login file, and then so instead of running this, we'll just comment out that code. Okay, let's just import our configuration file first. So we'll import environments and then authconfig. So inside here we'll then call our Firebase auth like so. Then we'll say sign in with credentials. Then inside here we'll pass in Firebase auth, and then here we'll pass in Facebook auth provider, and we'll pass in credentials and then our user token that we defined just right here. Okay, so after then this function will return a promise. So we get that response, and this response we can then print out this response. If it is successful, then we console log this response. So if there is an error, let's console log that error. Alright, so let's run again. Let's save and compile our application once more. Alright, now our application has finished compiling. So let's run it in Xcode and see what we have. Now we are no longer receiving our auth error that we are getting before. So we have got another message which is saying auth operation not allowed, message the identity provider configuration is disabled. So okay, so what this means that we need to enable our Facebook provider to log in Firebase. So what we need to do is to go to our account in Firebase Cloud. So inside here we will go to sign in method, and here we'll go to Facebook. You see it is disabled, so we need to enable that. So you click enable, and then here it will require us to provide our Facebook app ID and also our secret. So these ones we can easily get them from our application that we created in our developer account. So you go to settings and then go to basic settings, and then here this will be our app ID. You just copy that one and then come to our Firebase, paste that there, and also let's get our secret. So just provide a password. Okay, this is our app secret. Copy that one and also paste it here like so. So after that you click save. Our Facebook sign-in provider will be enabled, so this will enable us to get rid of this error which we are receiving here. Let's go back to our Xcode and then run our application once more. Okay, so if we try to log in again, good. Now we have successfully logged in and also registered our user in Firebase, and this is our object that we have received from Firebase. So when we go back to Firebase and then go to sign in to users, now you see our user has been successfully registered with Firebase. Okay, so now here we will check if the user will also create a condition here. So we say if response dot user, then let's navigate our user. So this dot nav dot navigate forward, and then we'll take our user to tabs page. So if a user has been successfully logged in and also added to Firebase, we'll navigate this user to the tabs page. Okay, so let's save and let's run again. Alright, so now let's run our application. Our user has been successfully logged in and also navigated to our tabs page. Let's see how we can do the same with Android Studio. Remember, we have been using iOS, so I will go ahead and application, and as I told you that to run this application on Android, first of all you have to run this command if you haven't added Android platform, npx cap add Android, and if you're adding for iOS, just run that command. Okay, so since I have both platforms installed, I will not run those commands, but if you haven't yet installed Android, you can go ahead and do so. Alright, so let me run our command. We are running the same command we have been using with iOS. So let's run for Android. So this command will run and open our application in Android Studio. So if you don't have Android Studio installed, make sure you install it. Alright, now our application has opened in Android Studio, and this is application. So this is the device I'm using. If you don't have this device installed, you can go to Tools and then AVG Manager, and if you don't have any virtual device on your Android Studio, you can just go ahead and click add a new device, and then you select any of the categories listed here. Then you choose the type of device you want to create, and then click next, and then you download. Good. So if you have finished those steps and you have added your device, your virtual device, then it will appear here in this list. If it doesn't automatically appear, still you can go to AVG Manager and then click one of these icons like this to run this device and launch it. That having said, so let's run our application. It's compiling, so we need to wait. We have got an error here. Our error is resource string, so we need to add app ID to our strings file, like as we did in Xcode. Here we'll go to our application and then resource, and inside resource we'll go to values, and then we access our string file. So here I will just paste in this configuration here. So this is our app ID, and then this is our application name. These configurations are from Facebook developer account. After supplying in that, then let's run again. Good. Our application has launched in Android, and this is what we have. So let's go ahead and click login. This will bring us to this page, and then click let's see what. Good. So we have successfully logged in, and let's open up Chrome and go to inspector, so that we can see our application logs that are being printed out. Alright, now this is our object that we received from Firebase login, and this was our access token, and this is our user ID. So, and this is the object that and this is the one that we have received from Firebase. After we have added our user, this is our UID that has been assigned to this user. It is this one. So let's go to Firebase and check that out. If we go to signed in user, you see this is our UID. Okay, now like if we wanted to access this user's profile picture, we could use this information that we are having here, this user that we are, because it has all the information that we need. Let's check that out. See, this user has the information, the photo URL is here, so we can get this user's picture, which is this one, and also the email and the names which are there. So if we want to save this information to the database, we can easily just update our database to create a user's profile. Or another thing we could do is to, maybe we wanted to access it from Firebase API directly and read this user's nodes. So we can go back to our developer portal on Facebook, and then just go down here. Okay, actually let's go to documentations, and then let's go just right down here on API, and then we have a graph API. So let's see how this graph API can be used to fetch Facebook user feeds, user posts, likes, pictures, etc. So let's go and see how we can use this graph API. For us to be able to access Facebook user, we need to have access token, which we have used to access this user's information when we logged in. So this access token is the one we pass in here in the credentials for us to gain access to this user information. Alright, so this access token is very important. It's what we use to gain access to Facebook. But for us, we want to get users' nodes. We want to read different user nodes. So here, this is the part we need. To read a node, you query a specific object ID, like user's ID. And so to read your user node, you would query its ID, which is the user ID. For us to query the data of this user, we need to get the access to the user ID. This user ID we created here. So it's the one that we are going to use to be able to fetch this user's information using this ID. So this is how we access it. But for us now here, instead of passing in this, we will use this node, this me node. And here they say that this me node is a special endpoint that translates to the user ID. So instead of passing in our user ID here, we just simply pass in. Let's go ahead and do that. We can create our API here. So we can just say this Facebook .api. We'll pass in the fields name, then email, then we provide the permission like public profile permission, and then also email permission. So then we'll get a response. So we can console log the response. For example, if we want to get this user's profile image, we can just simply say response picture, and then this one will equal to graph.facebook.com. So this will be HTTPS, and then we'll add in our user ID. So user ID, and then here we'll pass in a picture, and the type of picture will be large. So we can also console log our picture, and then it will say response dot picture error. So if you have any errors, we'll console log those errors. Alright, so after that, then we save and then run again. Alright, now our application has finished to run, so let's run again here and check out. Good, so let's log in again. So let's go to Chrome and then see our log. Can delete that. Good. So you see this is our user's profile picture that we have received, and this is our user FB API object. We are having an email. Alright, now we have successfully created our user login with Facebook. I've showed you how to log in with Firebase using credentials, users credentials. I've showed you also how to access different user nodes using API, using Facebook Graph API by providing different fields that we need to access and also the permissions. So access, for example, user's profile picture like so. I hope you can choose the best option to use for you to be able to log in with Facebook, and then here you can save this information to the user's profile. Yeah, so for this video, this is it. So in our next video, we'll see how we can log in with Google. See you. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.